so that's how Arsenal wrapped it up at the Kempower Stadium 2-0 against Leicester City. Down to Mikel Merino. He was called up from the bench by manager Mikel Arteta and went on to do a very good job to hand Arsenal all 3 points. So, next step for Arsenal is another tricky tie against West Ham United. Then again, would we see Mikel Arteta doing this with what he did with Mikel Merino? Because he started with, I think he started with Trossard, Sterling, and then Nwaneri.
Yes.
Clearly, the goals were not coming.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be another difficult game just because of the lack of attackers we've mentioned before. This is Arsenal's probably 4th or 5th choice combination of attackers if you think about it, because Sterling has been there most of the season. He's barely gotten a start. I think before this weekend, he had played, if you add his minutes together, the equivalent of 3 games in the Premier League before last weekend. So that should tell you how unfavored he is to the manager. But now he's there starting centre forward. You know, he's there starting left winger, wherever he's been playing. So that should just tell you how bare bones Arsenal's attack is. And like I said last week on radio, that I didn't expect Leicester to be a difficult game. They just didn't have enough quality to win the game. But West Ham are a bit different. West Ham are not playing particularly well, but you look at Kudus, look at the other attackers they have. Jared Bowen, I believe he's injured right now. Evan Ferguson, he's starting to kind of get into his groove. There's a lot more quality there. You look at their centre-backs, there's a lot more quality there. That's the difference between this team and Leicester. This team can actually win the game if things go their way. I think it's the type of situation that if West Ham scored 2 or 3 goals, Arsenal can come back. I think if Leicester had scored a goal or 2, I still would have believed Arsenal could win the game. But in this situation, if Arsenal can keep a clean sheet, I think they'll be okay, because at the very least, I don't expect West Ham to keep a clean sheet either. I think West Ham, though they are better, they are not that good. So there's still a win. This is a fairly easy game. The game I'm worried about for Arsenal is their game on midweek against Nottingham Forest, because we know how difficult Forest are to break down, how compact they are. And when you go with this type of attack, because truth be told, if you look at Trossard, Nwaneri, and Sterling, considering their performances this season, if that was the attack that led Arsenal through the season, they wouldn't be challenging for the title. They wouldn't be where they are. That's the type of attack we see from a West Ham, a Crystal Palace, that level of team. So it's going to be very difficult. But then again, when you have a strong defense behind you, you can ride some of these matches with a bad attack. So I think for Arsenal, if they can keep within touching distance of Liverpool by the time you see their attackers returning, there might be something for them to play for. But on the other side, Liverpool have 7 of their remaining 11 games at home. And we know how difficult Anfield is to go. But it's all to play for, because Liverpool have dropped points. Now you have a game in hand. Win your game, put the pressure up. They have a game against City. I expect Liverpool to beat City, but put that pressure on. Make them have something to think about, you know. So I think for us now, this is a very winnable game. I don't think it's going to be an easy game for sure. If they had the full complement of their squad, I'd say it'd be over by halftime. In fact, last time they played, it was 5-2 at halftime. So it's not something that's beyond the realms of possibility. But this weekend, with this particular squad and this availability in their squad, I'm not as certain. But I think it's very unlikely that West Ham get the results that they want in terms of a win. But a draw is very possible. I think it's one of those.
So maybe
games,
a goal-scoring draw?
maybe even a 0-0 draw, you know, because of Arsenal's lack of firepower. But West Ham winning the game will really surprise me. But Arsenal not winning the game is less of a surprise. But West Ham win, that would be like, wow, I did not see that coming.
Okay, yeah, just quick one. Would this be a big blow for Arsenal if they fail to win against West Ham? I say a big blow because they get the chance to cut the point gap between themselves and Liverpool to 4. Then Liverpool gets to play City on Sunday.
Yeah, because it's not just even about the immediate point tally. If Arsenal fail to beat West Ham, it's not just about the immediate point tally narrative. No, that's not it. It's about what lies ahead. And when you look at the remaining schedule for Arsenal, you look at the remaining schedule for Liverpool. Liverpool have a little bit of an easier schedule compared to Arsenal. Once they get past their next couple of games, including the matchup against Manchester City, they had, like I said a couple of weeks back, they had to go through a 5-game stretch over a course of 15 days. Once they get beyond that stretch, trust me, they are in the clear. And it will be just up to them to be able to deliver, because they will walk into a lot of those games as the favourites. And like Susu rightly pointed out, they will be playing those games, majority of those games at home. So it's all about Arsenal being able to get the job done, honestly. Because if they don't get it done, yeah, it will just feed into what I believe for a while. That, Liverpool are favourites to win the title. And I don't even see Arsenal as favourites in my book to finish in second place. I even see
Manchester you think they will drop further?
Yeah, I think I see Man City finishing ahead of them, finishing in second place, Arsenal in third, and maybe Nottingham Forest or Newcastle or Aston Villa will finish in the top four.
I just want to say I've never disagreed more with Yao Mingtai in my life about Man City
on City overtaking.
Oh no!
I wanted to put a very interesting stat I saw after they beat Newcastle United. Yeah. You know, since the 10th of December, when you take Arsenal and Liverpool, they are the next side to actually pick up a lot of points. And so, if you assess that they can actually get,
and that's as bad as they've been throughout pretty much entire February.
So that's a very.
Do you say January or December?
December, since the 10th of December.
And now Nico Gonzalez has started playing.
They've actually picked points. They picked points.
Oh, no.
So the only two sides who have picked more than them is Arsenal and Liverpool.
But you see, it's because we are holding City to their standards. The standard of a team that can get 95 points every season. That's their standard. So if they finish this season with 84, 81, it's a very bad year for them comparatively.
Yeah, because of what they've done in the previous seasons.
Exactly. But I think second is a bit beyond them. I just feel like whenever they play a team that's around their level or good,
they struggle.
They're exposed. Because we saw them midweek against Real Madrid. They didn't look like the team they are in terms of their stature.
Yeah.
We saw them against. I think we've seen them play Liverpool this season.
Yeah.
We've seen them play Arsenal this season. Like they just are not as impressive when they meet a team that's around them, a team that they should be competing against. And they also have those occasional games where they play a team that they should be beating where it just doesn't click. So if let's say Man City were back to what we know them to be capable of, the Man City we all know and love, I can agree with you because that Man City can just win 10 games in a row. 10 games but I'll be very surprised if this specific Man City team can win 10-5 games in a row just like that. It just from what we've seen so far this season, it's not in there. Maybe next season, sure. Next season they'll be back for sure, but this season.
Okay, so 1-1 for you, Arsenal, West Ham. Arsenal to win?
I wouldn't say 1-1. Let me just say West Ham won't win. That's all I'll say.
Maybe
I'm going with an Arsenal win.
1-0, 2-1.
With West Ham, they are not scoring, and we know defensively they are porous. And so, I see Arsenal winning that one.
Okay, great stuff. So that game will be on radio for you, 97.3 on Saturday. Yeah, so if you're not watching, you can just tune in. That's the home of the Premier League. That's where you can get all the commentary, the analysis for you. Let's take you to the Amex. It was Chelsea losing to Brighton and Hove Albion. Chelsea's next game is they take on Aston Villa, another tricky tie. Let's check out how that game against Brighton unfolded, and then we build up to their next game against Villa.